A customer sent in their One Connect box for a 65-inch QLED Samsung TV, and their complaint was that the box stopped working after they dropped it and unfortunately broke the One Connect cable connector. If we take a closer look inside with our microscope, we can clearly see the damage. This side over here, all the pins are bent, and they're actually touching the grounding pad here, which is obviously bad. And then the piece of plastic in the center that's supposed to be guiding the connector is also physically damaged. So we're gonna have to completely replace that port so that we can go ahead and get this One Connect box up and running again. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Nick. I started Nick's TV Repair over a decade ago, and since then we have fixed over 1,000 One Connect boxes. If you have a One Connect box that you would like to send in for us to fix, we do have our contact information in the video description below. You can send us an email and we'll do our best to see if we can fix it for you. Now that we've removed the heatsink, let's take a closer look at the connector port. So we can actually see some of the damaged pins here through this hole. But on the back side where the connector connects to the PCB, I don't see any damage, which is very good news. For the removal, we're going to use a combination of the iron and our hot air station at the same time so that we can try and remove the connector as quickly as possible without affecting some of the surrounding components. So obviously I want to be very cognizant of the components that are right next to the connector. There are lots of little capacitors, and I don't want to accidentally knock them off. Right now I did just touch up the edges right here. You can see I soldered one of the capacitor pads, joints. But actually it looks like most of my solder went directly onto the ground, not the actual pins, because I was trying to be overly cautious of the capacitors. But the whole point is to make contact with the pins on the PCB so we can get flow down there. It is a little harder to do this while trying to focus on getting a good angle for the camera as well. But we'll make it work so that you can see how we do this. So here we're just doing the ground pads on the back. There's two reasons why I always add solder first before we desolder anything, especially when using the hot air. The first reason is because the solder I add has flux embedded in it. So technically I could also add just flux, but it is leaded solder, which helps with good flow. And what it does is the combination of both the flux and the leaded solder allows for removal of oxidation or any layer of gunk that might have built up over time of the TV's life, so that when I do use the hot air, there's going to be a lot better heat penetration into the joint, into the solder, so that we have better flow. And when we remove the connector, there won't be any rip traces or a lesser likelihood of that. And the second reason is that when I do add that extra solder, it'll be easier for me to see when the solder is properly flowing and when is the right time for me to remove the connector from the PCB. So I'm going to be using my hot air from the bottom. I'm going to add just a little bit of flux, and like I said, we're going to use our iron from the top here. Oh, and we already have really good flow actually. So let's see, I'm seeing the solder is molten. Yep, look at that. Really good flow, really quick. That's what we want to see. The less time that we spend on these joints, the less damage we can cause and create. So that was a really good quick pull, and I'm very happy about it. If we look at the back, everything looks intact. I don't seem to have knocked off anything or removed any components, which is obviously good. And we're going to try and quickly, while the board is still warm from the hot air, try to desolder those grounding pads. There we go, there's the first one, our second, third, and I think the board may have cooled off. No, I think we got it. Oop, not all of it. Okay, well that's good enough. Now we can desolder the rest. We have a lot of flux, so let's go ahead and clean that off with isopropyl alcohol and a Q-tip. So these are actually not Q-tip branded cotton swabs. They are a little different, and the cotton is actually very tightly wound so that it's less likely to have fibers come off. And this is more or less what we want for electronics repair. So we don't want a lot of fibers to come off of these cotton swabs. I'll have links in the description below if you want to purchase these. Right, so we have our replacement piece here, and it is coming from a donor board. We're going to start by anchoring it down with the ground pins first. And as you can see, there's a lot of movement, so we're gonna have to adjust it. So as I'm melting, I'm pushing the connector down. Let's see, is our alignment good? It looks pretty good. I think I'm happy there. If I wasn't, then this is the time to make the final adjustments. We'll go ahead and anchor one more side here and put physical downward pressure on the connector. Okay, and we're looking pretty good. The pins look pretty flat and flush to the board. So now we can go ahead and anchor down the last two grounding pins. Now we can do our pins. We're gonna start by adding flux, and we're gonna do a lot. That's a lot of flux. And I also did switch my soldering iron tip to a smaller one. Oh, and we knocked a capacitor. That's okay. We can fix that. Okay, and I think we're going to need a little bit more solder over on this side. Fear that might be a little too much, but that's okay. And we have one more bridge there. Okay, I think we got it. But we did make contact again with the back of the connector, so we'll want to just remove a little bit of that solder. Doesn't really need to be removed, but get a little cleaning going, get rid of some of that flux. And at this point, we're going to do a quick inspection. Do we have any bridges? I don't see any. And second inspection is, do we have any loose pins? So I'm going to rake with this little tool. And if any of the pins move, it means they're not soldered down properly. But everything looks good. Last thing we need to fix is that capacitor over here. Okay, let's just remove that little bit of excess solder. It's fine, we don't need to, but there we go. We'll just make it look prettier. For this capacitor, we'll try and melt. There we go. There it is. I'm going to add solder just to one side. I'm going to add a little flux to the area, actually. I'm going to melt the joint, slide in the component. Okay, capacitor's locked in. Now we can solder down the other side. And it looks like we got it, but I'm not super happy with it. But something we can do is use our hot air to fix that. Oh, we just saw it move. It went right back into position. All right, we can give the whole area a quick clean, again with isopropyl alcohol and our cotton swabs. And we'll finish off the rest with our brush. We're gonna go ahead and do our final live test. Okay, and it does look like our TV is turning on. Let's do a quick check for our HDMIs. And I have a Fire Stick plugged in. Now the fact that the TV is turning on is actually already telling me that we have a successful repair, but I just want to make sure that none of the HDMIs were damaged during the drop or the physical damage that occurred. Okay, and it looks like it's coming through. That does conclude another successful One Connect box repair. If you have a box that you would like to send in for us to fix, go ahead and send us an email. Our contact information will be in the video description down below. Otherwise, if you found the video helpful or useful, leave us a like, subscribe for more content, and thank you for watching.